Okay, just got some colors on. I went with the Tesser's Model Master Chrome Silver and the burnt metal. So that's the burnt metal on those exhausts, and then the silver on the intakes. After checking references, I didn't think this was these exhausts were dark enough. So I actually went and got the exhaust buffing metallizer and shot that on there very lightly so that, you know, that kind of more silverish burnt metal would show through, and I really like that effect. Starting on the PE, and I'm gonna leave the stuff that goes on the rotors for last because that is super complicated. So I'm gonna get as much practice in on this stuff with everything else. And you can see I circled all the PEs. And then this is the clear parts. I think I still have a few on here. So I'm gonna go through and finish up everything that goes on the fuselage PE-wise and otherwise and clear-wise. And I'm also going to consult for like precise placement, both my Dan's cool videos references as well as some others. Okay, I did 26 these tie downs on either side of the back there, and then 42 on the top up here. And then you need to make this piece similar to what I did on the C1A. So I believe I have the wire for that to make, and I'll put the reference in there. There's this little loop here, so I'm going to do that next. I've got those pieces on. I think those are tie downs as well. And you can see it's scribed in the fuselage as if, you know, that would fold down into there. And then those tie downs in the back. So, and then the same thing on the other side, the tie down there. And now there's handles that go up here, and then that wire, if you can see this opening right here, I have to drill 2 small holes and then bend a wire to go down in there. There's those handles on there and one there, which are that one and that one. Oh, and here you can see that thing that has to go in here, and there's the wire for it. So I'll mark those off. And next I'm gonna do this light in here, I think. All right, got that. Got a super small bit here. I checked it against this wire. So I just used my scribing tool to make 2 pilot holes and then use my pin vise to drill them out. All right, hopefully you can see those 2 holes there. And so now I'm gonna bend that wire into a U shape and try to fit it in there with a little bit of super glue. All right, I've got some glue down in there. We'll see how that works. Yeah, I mean, again, looks better from here than it does super close up, but I'll clean it up as we go forward. All right, that's that last piece there. So that's that clear part, and then the PE along the spine. And I actually, rather than using super glue, I actually just touched the ultra thin Tamiya in there to melt the plastic, and then kind of pushed it down into the plastic because there was already an indentation to take it. And so, you know, that's what I did. I just, you know, pushed it down into that indentation after softening the plastic, so to speak. And I think, you know, it's a much cleaner line and entry. And then that's the clear piece there. It's the next morning, and I just wanted to see how these came out. Yeah, they're in there. Okay, good. So that worked, going with the ultra thin and kind of just melting them in there. There's these circles that go on the underneath the nose, and I believe those form like spotlights. And then there's also PE that goes on the engine on both sides up here, as you can see, and then handles and stuff that go on the engines. And then I still have this one plastic piece left here, and then this goes on the top on either side over the exhaust. These are those PE circles, and then down here some of the PE that goes on that engine top. Hopefully you can see that, but right at the top of that circle is, you know, the cutoff point. On every single one of these photo etch parts, you have to file that, just like a regular part, you have to file that down. So I use these two sanding sticks, a rough one and then a smoother one. Hopefully see on the other side, the bottom, it's smooth. So now I'm going to do the top one. But again, everything about this PE, you know, takes time. And you got to hold that really tight while you're sanding it so it doesn't fly across the room. And I've got that first one just resting on there. And I'm debating about what to use to glue it down, because I fear if I put super glue in there, you know, it's going to create a puddle around there. I'm toying with doing the same thing I did back here, hitting it with the Tamiya Ultra Thin, letting that plastic melt and letting that melt into there, because I'm going to make this a spotlight, and I'm going to come back with the crystal clear and fill that, paint it silver inside, and then fill it with the crystal clear, which will help hold it as well. So there's, you know, where the other one goes, that other indentation up front. I think that's the way I'm gonna go, because then that totally like evaporates after it melts the plastic, whereas the super glue, you know, remains and is a layer unto itself, so to speak, if that makes any sense. So I want to leave as little as possible. So I think I'm going to go that route, and you know, it seemed to work back there, so we'll try it up here. Okay, I've touched a drop inside there, like the faintest drop I could possibly get. I brushed it off on there like 3 times. Kind of tried to prop it to where it would lay flat. So I'm going to let this one dry, you know, before I readjust the way it lays, and then put that other one on over there. But I got to let it melt and then re-solidify to see if it'll hold that. I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 parts on there. All right, there's that other one. And while that dries, I'm going to put these parts here on the tops of that. Okay, I put those on. I bent the corners up, and now and then placed them, and then just again touched it with the ultra thin. When that plastic melts, it, you know, when it re-solidifies, it adheres to the PE, is, you know, the theory I'm going with, and we'll see. While the instructions only show one on this side, my references show there's a tie down, and I think even the box art has it. You can just barely make it out back there. So a tie down needs to go on each side, and you can see there's a little thing there to receive it. So I'm gonna cut 2 more of those out and put those on. And there's that front tie down. All right, and there's the other side. I think those have dried and stayed. I decided I'm gonna wait on these handles on the top of the engine until after I have that on and after I've painted it. I'm gonna wait till later to do the windshield wipers. So now I'm on to these 2 clear parts, and there's the Z6 and Z10, and those go on the side of the engines right there. So now I think I'm also going to do this crane and the PE parts that go on there. So that part there gets some PE on it, and then that goes at the end of that. That is about the best I can get that. It's so tiny. It's so hard even sand that stuff or, you know, manipulate it. So I'm gonna leave that like that. I got it to stay together. So that is the last of the PE before I have to do what's on those rotors. I am going to try to get a layer of paint down on those rotors. And I'm going to start masking the fuselage. I'm going to mask around there, you know, mask those doors so that I can start painting. So now I have, like I said, I have all the PE done except what goes on those rotors. So this is the PE that goes around the rotor and actually holds the rotors to that centerpiece. And as you can see, it's extremely complicated. But the instructions, this is the instruction page I blew up, and you can see it shows how it goes together basically on one rotor. But each of these individual pieces has to be bent, and there's no instructions on like, okay, bend this way first, you know, or anything like that. And I only get one shot at this. So basically what I did, I went and blew up each one of those sections to kind of get a better look at it and like, okay, see exactly what's going on. So I took a picture of this and then cut sections out of it and then blew these up and printed them out so that I could then get them in a size and shape that I could work with, you know, with my hands at a reasonable size. And then I can document what it's going to take, like, okay, bend it this way first, then that way, you know, for each piece, before I actually do it with the real ones, because I'm only going to get it one shot at this, and once you bend it, it's impossible to unbend, and so on and so forth. So that's, you know, one of the things I'll be working on before the next video. So until next time, thanks for watching, and happy modeling.